2-1, but Brent Sutter gave the Islanders the 2-0 lead. And in Montreal, Boston and Montreal are scoreless. That's in the second period, rather after 2. And Peter Svoboda, that good young defenseman of the Canadiens, we understand, has broken a wrist. So should the Canadiens go on, that could be certainly a factor for them.
Chelios is out of the lineup too for the Montreal Canadiens. So suddenly they are running into injury problems.
And both teams are back on the ice here at the Coliseum in Quebec City as we await the start of the third period. The Buffalo leading by 1 goal. This is the first time, I believe, in the series, Jim, that the Sabres have had the lead going into the third.
Yeah, that's right, Jed. And I think from their standpoint now, the one thing you don't want to do is go into a defensive shell, try to lay back and protect that lead. You have to be cautious, but you can't be overly cautious, and you must be aggressive, but not overly aggressive, if that makes any sense. But basically what it means is that just use your head out there, be thinking, and don't try to do anything fancy. Just get back to good basic hockey. And of course, from the Nordique standpoint, they know one thing, that they are an explosive team, and going into the third period trailing is not going to worry them too much.
Brian Lewis spent most of the second intermission in the first aid room being stitched up above the left eye.
Ted, they've given a couple assists now to that goal by Sealing, and Gilles Perreault got one of them and Ruff the other at 5:06 in the second period. So Perreault, that's 3 points for him tonight, and Ruff also having a good night, although we don't know still what his injury is, but Ruff has 3 assists and the goal.
Well, Perreault made that play to Sealing inside that line, so he certainly deserves an assist.
And we are ready to begin the third period with Buffalo holding on to a 1-goal lead on the draw. It comes into the Quebec zone. Mulder up to the blue line, deflected high into the air. Now cleared into the Buffalo zone with Mike Ramsey going in deep. Goulet pushes into the boards. It's into the side of the Buffalo net, Sealing falling on it, and that'll force a face-off in the Buffalo zone. The Nordiques would love to tie this one up early in the third period and then settle down.
Boy, would they ever, just like Gilbert Perreault did for Buffalo the other night. He scored at the 37-second mark. Michel Bergeron. Talk about Harry Sinden being an intense coach. Well, Bergeron right up there, too. He really gets into a game. That's great to watch. I love to watch that with the coaches.
On the draw in the Buffalo zone, here's Paybaugh with it, sending it into the corner. Now Mike Ramsey will go in after it. He tried to clear it, but Goulet comes up with it, the pass in front of Barrasso, knocked it away before Paybaugh could get it. Here comes Sealing, back now with a pass to Craig Ramsey over the line, trying to break in on goal to get the shot. He did, fired it just wide of the far goal post. And Goulet right back to the Nordiques at center, carries it to the Buffalo line, giving it to Paybaugh. There's the pass back to Goulet, couldn't get the shot. Taken to the boards by Mike Ramsey. Loose puck at the side of the net. Comes back now to Marois. The shot deflected. Barrasso made the save on the deflection. Here comes Perreault. Right back to the Quebec line. Polino trailing. There's a backhand shot that goes wide. Waiting for it at the point is Height. He fires it back in behind the net. Roseport goes to the corner. Polino butts into him. Ashton trying to clear it against Andrechuk. Now Polino tied up by Roseport. Andrechuk and Ashton. They still battle for it. Tucker comes in to take over. Now still with it. Tucker works it back. And here's Housley. Screens on. He scores! Bill Housley drills it in from the right point. And the Sabres have taken a 5-3 lead.
Now credit John Tucker and Dave Andrechuk in the corner. And that may have been deflected in front of the net. We'll have to wait for the official time on that. But Housley just firing that puck towards the net, that's something that the Sabres did not do in the first 2 games. But Tucker and Andrechuk in the corner did not panic. Tucker took his time, drew a player to him, and then put it back to Housley to give him the time to fire that shot on goal.
And the Sabres have taken a 2-goal lead early here in the third period over the Nordiques in this Game 5 of the semifinals in the Adams Division. Polino sends it on into the Quebec zone. Gosselin leaving it for Marois. Up on that left side, here's Cote. Gets over the blue line, comes to center. Flips it into the Buffalo zone. Playfair hustling after it to the corner boards. Behind the net, works it around the boards. Cut off by Paybaugh. Paybaugh in there against Gates Orlando, and Orlando brings it into his body with his right arm and forces a face-off in the Buffalo zone. If you look at that bandage over the left eye of referee Brian Lewis.
So Housley picks up his second of the playoffs from Tucker and Andrzejczyk at 1:27, and the Islanders still leading Washington 2-1. Bobby Carpenter scoring for the Caps. It's 2-1 in the third period.
Now, this is the time of a hockey game, too. Not that it's necessarily more important now than it was in the first or second periods, but to win the faceoffs on a consistent basis. And Perreault tonight has been winning a few against Stastny. He did not do that in the first two games.
And he wins it here again, leaving it for Mike Ramsey in behind the net. And there's a pass over the line, getting it to Craig Ramsey, tied up, but he knocked it ahead. It's tipped into the Quebec zone by Rick Sealing. Goulet goes in after it, working it up to Maxwell, watched by Ramsey, blocked. Now Maxwell has control in behind the net, watched by Perreault. Nordique's in control with the pass to Price in the left wing. Gets to center, shoots it into the Buffalo zone around the boards. Foligno waiting, hit from behind by Stastny. Maxwell keeps it in, tipped away by Craig Ramsey. Ramsey having an excellent game tonight. Here comes Perreault in with Ramsey, winds up with the shot. Fire that one wide. Now, Benfis keeping it in. Here's Foligno. Taken to the boards by Peter Stastny. Marianne Stastny is on for only his second shift tonight. And 3-4 of them go after it. Foligno trying to hold it to the boards. Now comes to Maxwell. He works it up. Housley tried to keep it in, and Height chases it back into his own zone.
You mentioned Marianne Stastny, and I'm sure what Michel Bergeron is looking for now is goals, as simple as that. And Marianne Stastny is an offensive player.
Maxwell sends it to Rochefort. Over the Quebec line to center. Clears it in. Barrasso blocks it. There goes Height in after it. He sends it behind the net. Waiting for it was Ashton. Has it, works it back behind the net to Alain Lemieux. Dumps it right in front off the skate. Tipped away by Housley. Here's Lemieux. Back to the point to Rochefort for shot. Minnesota tried to get to the loose puck and was unable to. Ashton keeping it in. Back into the corner. The Nordiques putting on the pressure deep in the Buffalo zone. Andrzejczyk waiting for the puck, but Ashton is there, and Andrzejczyk comes up with it. Has McKenna on his right. Here's a pass. Tipped away by Rochefort. Racing after it. Andrzejczyk inside the line. Just gets it over the line, allowing McKenna to pick it up. Ahead to Gates Orlando. In over the Quebec line. Going to the corner. Buffalo making a player change, so he has no help with him. Lemieux. And Orlando has his helmet knocked off. Sear dumps it to Orlando. The shot! Bad save, Gosselin. Now McKenna, get along the boards. Taken to the boards by Rochefort. Orlando's there. Sear battling with Hunter. Sear comes up with it. The pass off the skate. Here's Schoenfeld working it in front. The pass over to McKenna. Backhand drive that goes wide. Action on the far board. Now skates up to the blue line. 5-3 Buffalo leading. Hunter chops it into the corner boards. Here's Playfair. Getting it around the boards, Lemieux and Perreault. Perreault goes to the ice. The puck is underneath him. They whistle it down. 5-3 Buffalo leading. We'll return following this message.
Fine play by Tucker to control the puck, and Housley just fires it at the net through a maze of players to beat Gosselin.
Face off in the Buffalo zone. On the draw, it comes back to Boulder. Swings it over to Wesley. The drive, Barrasso, the save. That was a screen shot. And Barrasso picked it off, sealing into the corner. Now works it up over the blue line. Back to center and out of the Quebec blue line.
I think we're seeing too many shots from the point by Quebec, so from Buffalo's standpoint, they're going to have to make sure that their wingers are back there covering up on those players. They have fine shots from back there.
Mike Ramsey gets it off the board. Gives it to Craig Ramsey with Perreault on his far right. The pass goes right into the crowd beside the Quebec bench area. Gilbert Perreault with a pair of goals tonight. Rick Sealing, Housley, and Lindsey Ruff with the other ones, and Ruff did not return for the third period. We have no idea the extent of his injury.
That big goal he scored for Buffalo at the 37-second mark of the third period. The last game was his first goal in the playoffs since 1981. He is going into tonight anyways, 100 NHL Stanley Cup playoff points, 31 goals, 69 assists, and Ed, what? Ed, 3 more tonight, I guess. A goal and a couple of assists.
Well, 2 goals and 1 assist.
2 goals and 1 assist.
Face off over the Quebec blue line. Perreault, Craig Ramsey, and McKenna now. Here's Marianne Stastny sending it into the Buffalo zone. Benfis going back after it. He is watched in there by Marianne Stastny. Lost it. Here's Ashton picking it up. Gets it back into the corner to Marianne Stastny. The pass in front tipped away by Barrasso. And it's taken by Benfis, and he gets to the Buffalo blue line and flips it back to the Quebec line. Maxwell right back for the Nordiques. Price shoots it into the corner. In after it goes Hike. 5-3. Buffalo leading. 14-40. Left to play here in the third period. Knocked down by Ramsey. Gets it over the blue line to Andrzejczyk. At center. He sidesteps one. Then he falls down. It comes to the Quebec line. A loose puck sitting in there. Marion Stastny. Then he lost control. Turns away from Andrzejczyk. Gives it to Gillis, but he missed the pass. Housley moving in there with Ashton to the corner. They whistle it down, and we'll have a face-off. And with the score, Buffalo 5, Quebec 3 will return right after this. Look at the Quebec bench now as we have a face-off into the left of the Buffalo net. On the draw, it can break back to Housley. In behind the net, watched by Frankie Sauvé. Clears it up on the left side. Craig Ramsey couldn't knock it down. And it's Marois. Control deep in his own zone for the Nordic. Slides it over to Rochefort. Up ahead to Peter Stastny at center. They come into the Buffalo zone. Here's Frankie Sauvé getting it over now to Rochefort. He stumbled, gets it now, and it's blocked by Craig Ramsey, and the puck comes back to center. Marois. Now to Rochefort. Dropped it back in to Marois. Again to Rochefort. The center, Housley went after him, missed him. Rochefort carries it to the Buffalo line. It's an offside call.
Now Bob Hodges whistled down Michel Goulet, just a little bit over-anxious. Normand Rochefort, I think he's one of the more underrated defensemen in the NHL. And you're going to see that Quebec defense now start to take chances as this clock starts to wind down. 13:48 remaining.
Rochefort got the winning goal in Game 2 here at the Coliseum.
He has played a lot of hockey in this series, along with Marois, who's out there now. And Pat Price stepping onto the ice. We talk about competitors. Pat Price has to go near the top of the list.
Face-off will be over the Buffalo blue line, the line of Gilbert Perreault, Craig Ramsey, and Rick Sealing. Now Stastny against Perreault. And Stastny wins the draw this time. Price has it at center. Sends it in off the boards, and Fentis will go back now for Craig Ramsey into the corner. Gets it back to Fentis. Works it up to Perreault, who deflects it on to center ice. Maxwell at his own blue line. The long pass there intended for Goulet. Missed it. Now Fentis in to touch it. And Quebec is called for icing. The face-off will go way back into the Quebec zone, exactly what the Sabres like.
You saw Dave Penvis a couple of moments ago giving Quebec some of their own medicine with a good hard pass up the middle. And that's what you want. Perreault managed to get a stick on it. He just deflected it back to center ice. But anytime you can move the puck out of your own end up the middle, that's what you want to do. Play those long passes. It's not always available to you, however. Penvis really has come a long way this year for the Buffalo Sabres. Voted the unsung hero this year, and rightly so.
Buffalo leading. 13:28 remaining in the third period. Here now, Sealing into the corner with it. Mulder goes after him. Now Mulder pushing him away. Hunter sends it over to Rochefort. He starts back to the blue line. The pass now to Hunter. Firing it in off the corner boards. Barrasso leaving it for Playfair. Whips it around the boards. Mulder keeps it in. Lemieux the pass along to Hunter. The drive. The save of Barrasso. Spectacular. Holds on and stops Dale Hunter. 5-3 Buffalo leading. Will return to the Coliseum in a moment. Top into the left of Tom Barrasso. Faced 24 shots, and he has made some startling saves here tonight.
He just absolutely robbed Hunter moments ago. First of all, in the first shot, and then just taking the puck right off his stick on the rebound.
Now Playfair at the side of the net. Tries to clear it. Schoenfeld goes in. He is checked. Now Tucker moves in as well. Four of them. It comes to Peter Stastny. Left it there for Marois. The drive. Barrasso the save. And it's cleared away by Tucker back into the Quebec zone. And Barrasso comes up with another big one.
Yeah, the Sabres are going to have to start tightening up in their own zone. They're simply giving the Nordiques too many good opportunities.
Marois with the long shot that goes wide off the glass. Cleared by Housley, but not out. Kept in with a long drive. Barrasso grabs that one. Another face-off the Buffalo zone.
There's a play we talked about many times. Housley with that puck off the board. To get it out of your own zone, you really have to take a swing at it. Watch this stop after a good play by Peter Stastny. Now Marois has a fine shot. Barrasso, good stand-up goaltending to hold his ground. And the Sabres able to clear that rebound out of there. You're going to watch that Hunter stop right here. Here's the first one. Now watch Barrasso just take the puck away from Hunter right here. Big long reach.
On the draw now, Fences clearing it off the boards, and it's right back to the Quebec blue line. Maxwell tries to step away. Sear chases it, comes up with it, works it through to the center ice area. Now Maxwell at center. Bumped by Perreault. Loose puck sitting there. Tipped away, up to the line, into the Quebec zone. Now Maxwell at his own line, up in the left wing to Alain Croce, to the Buffalo line, off an ankle. Recovered by Hunter. He tips it in. And it's an offside call at the Sabres blue line with exactly 12 minutes remaining on the clock here in the third period. And here in the third period, the Sabres have had 2 shots and the Nordiques have had 6.
Montreal and Boston Bruins still tied at 0-0. Scotty Bowman, this is a time when you really need that experience behind the bench, and the Sabres certainly have that. Bowman with 5 Stanley Cups to his credit.
Face off over the Buffalo blue line. Stastny now will take the draw against Gates Orlando. Stastny wins it back to Frank, slaps it in off the glass into the Sabres zone. Now Paymon on the boards with Schoenfeld. Sear is there. Along with Stastny, comes back to Marois. The screen shot blocked by Sear, taken by Frank. Works it into the side of the net. Recovered by Playfair. Sends it around the glass. Back to the line, but Marois keeping it in. Now into the side is Playfair to the corner boards. Up off the board, kept in again by Marois. Paymon into the corner. Quebec putting on heavy pressure. There's a pass in front of it off the skate to the far corner board. Price gets it off the glass. Sticks are getting high. Playfair on top of it. Goulet trying to dig it free, and it's whistled down.
Peter Stastny was just wailing away at Gates Orlando in front of the net. I mean, he was really working him over. The Nordiques just storming the Buffalo zone. Again, you go back to that fact that the pointmen having way too much time back there, and the Sabre wingers are going to have to start keying on that area.
Well, Boston and Montreal still remain in a scoreless tie in that third period.
I would say that is a bit of a surprise. The Bruins taking Montreal to 5 games.
A big blow to the Canadians, losing Peter Swoboda after Chelios was unable to play tonight as well because of an injury. Now Craig Ramsey blocks it at the line. Starts back to center, backhanding it into the Quebec zone. Buffalo makes a quick change as the Nordiques come back. Missing it was Ashton, cleared away by Housley, recovered by Tucker. Tucker, the pass to Andrechuk at the blue line, slaps it in high off the glass. There goes Foligno, moving in now against Rochefort. Now Frankie Sauvé gets it free, gives it to Ashton, and he backhands it down the ice into the Buffalo zone. Ice will go back after it quickly to touch. Oh, he missed it. He did not get to it. Now it's gloved. No icing. Now it's cleared up to the line to Foligno. He comes back with Housley at 2-on-1. A drop pass to Housley. Housley works it in off the corner board. Here's Foligno into the corner. Tucker in to help against Price. The pass to Andrechuk, and he tipped it wide. Sauvé in the far boards, trying to get away, but Andrechuk is there to take over. He waits for Tucker to step onside. Has it now, moves into the corner. Andrechuk with that long reach, gives it to Tucker. He swings away from one, trying to get the shot. He's hooked and hauled down right in front. Here's Andrechuk with the shot, checked bad by Foligno. Andrechuk backhands it high and wide. Now Schoenfeld chops it back in. Sauvé's there. Here's Schoenfeld trying to clear it into Andrechuk. It's recovered by Mulder. And it comes back to center. And Brian Lewis could have called a penalty there a moment ago in the Nordiques. And Schoenfeld flips it back into the Quebec zone.
Oh, just great pressure by the Buffalo Sabres. And Andrechuk, what a fine puck handler he is inside that zone, making all kinds of plays.
And with the score, 5-3. Buffalo leading 9:52 to go in the third period. We'll return after this message. 9 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the third period. 5-3, Buffalo leading. 5th and deciding game of the best-of-5 series. A winner will advance to the Adams Division final against either Montreal or Boston. Maxwell now for Rochefort at center into the Buffalo zone. He squeezes by McKenna, but Fences is there. Paymon bumps into Fences. Now the loose puck behind the net. Orlando going into the corner with Peter Stastny. Stastny sliding it back. Here is Fenfus. Now to Ramsey. He got it over the line. Race after the puck. It's picked up by McKenna. He's got Orlando with him. Back to Orlando. Trying to get the shot. There's a pass, but it's blocked nicely by Rochefort. And they go to the corner boards. McKenna's in there. And taken by Paymont. Starts again over the blue line. Comes to center. Right into the Buffalo zone. Takes the shot of Barrasso. Holds on to that. And now we've got Paymont and Mike Ramsey with their arms around each other.
Now, the one thing that Quebec Nordiques tried to do at the auditorium in Buffalo was to really throw Barrasso off his game by jabbing him, high-sticking him, trying to get him to upset himself and take his concentration away from the game. Now, earlier in the season, you could do that, but in the last part of the season, you cannot do that. Barrasso really being able to grab a hold of himself and do what he had to do. You see him just covering up on the puck now. You're going to see Paymont will just come in and take a whack at it right there.
But referee Brian Lewis had already blown his whistle. Barrasso now has faced a total of 27 shots. Goslin at the other end, 22. Farrell moves in against Gillis. Gillis wins the draw back to the line to Marois. Steps away from one, gets it to the left point. Twice a screen shot to save the rebound. Barrasso hovers up again with a scramble in front of the Buffalo net. And Tom Barrasso has been pouncing on these rebounds all night.
And the Sabres losing that face-off in their own zone. And Price just throws his puck at the net. You see it just go through a maze of players. The Sabres outnumbered. Billy Height surrounded by Nordique. But Big Barrasso is falling on that loose puck once again.
Alvaro again against Gillis to the face-off in the Buffalo zone. Here's a chance to try to score! Go back in the game at 5-4 with 8:58 to go in the third period. Cote.
The Sabres losing the face-off right back to Cote, and before Barrasso can get set, he just fires it between the legs of the Buffalo goaltender. And Quebec has pulled to within one with 8:58 remaining. Hold on to your seats, everybody. And it was just a matter of time. Buffalo just laying back, and the Nordique is continually storming that Buffalo end.
So the Nordiques with Alain Cote scoring here in the third period to make it 5-4. And the capacity crowd still feeling there's a lot of hope for the Nordiques here in the third period. 8:58 now remaining to play. And the tension begins to grow continually here. Here's Fenfus now for Tucker up to the Quebec line, moving in with Craig Ramsey. Fires it in off the boards. Ramsey in after the loose rolling puck at the side, and Marois picks it up. Now the Nordiques trying to come back on the attack. The pass to Place at center. That's gloved down by Mike Ramsey at his own blue line. He flips it now. We're gloved by Marois. Keeps it to Paymont. In over the Buffalo line. Blocked, and Barrasso gloves that and holds on. We'll return to the Coliseum in Quebec City in just a moment with the score. Buffalo 5, Quebec 4.
Perhaps he wasn't taking some of the faceoffs in that Buffalo zone.
Now it's 5-on-5. The face-off in the Buffalo zone. Peter Stastny against Perro. 8:26 left in the third period. 5-4, Buffalo leading. On the draw now. Stastny has it in front to Goulet. Stop! Tom Barrasso robs Goulet right in front of the goal crease.
Oh, some idiot just threw a beer bottle onto the ice. I don't believe it. Darn near hit Gosselin down at the one end. What a stop by Barrasso, though, up at Goulet. And once again, Buffalo, if they're not going to start winning some faceoffs, they're going to end up losing this hockey game. You see Peter Stastny clearing it in front to Goulet, and that puck very nearly rolled up over top of Barrasso and into the net.
That beer bottle came all the way up from the
Can't believe
high
it.
balcony at the end. Now the face-off again in Buffalo territory, with the Nordiques moving to within 1 goal of the Sabres. Peter Stastny in on the face-off against Brent Peterson on the draw. There's the shot that goes wide, and it comes around to the right point, taken by Mulder. Sends it back in. Here's Goulet in front. Stastny had lost the stick. He was all alone in front of the net. Now back comes Peterson at center. Slipped it in out of the Quebec zone. Here's Ramsey putting it right in front, and Stastny turns it back up the ice now for the Nordiques. At the blue line, at center, right back into the Buffalo zone, puts on the burst of speed, knocks down, they try to clear the loose puck, right down the score! Goulet has tied it! And it's tied at 5-5.
We'll have to wait and see how this puck went into the net. You see it just rolling towards Barrasso. That was Mueller who took a poke at it. And it looked almost as if Buffalo put the puck into the net by themselves. You see Height just failing to reach it. And it goes off the left skate, I think, of Craig Ramsey. That's what it looked like from up here. We'll look at it again. Watch Mike Ramsey, or excuse me, Craig Ramsey in front of the net right here. It hits his left skate and goes in behind Barrasso.
And the fans have thrown toe rubbers and shoes and you name it, programs onto the ice here following that tying goal by Mulder.
Both Craig Ramsey and Peterson were caught deep in the Quebec zone, and that enabled the Nordiques to break out 3-on-2. That was Mueller very smartly jumping up ahead, going up with the forwards, and that's what the defense has to do when you're on a 4-on-4 situation. You look for those two forwards to get caught and then jump up front with them.
And we'll return to the Coliseum in Quebec City in a moment with 7:54 left in the third period. We are tied at 5-5. Randy Mulder tying it up for the Quebec Nordiques here in the third period with 7:54 to go. And the Nordiques have outshot the Sabres 11-4 here in the third period.
Boy, it's so hard to turn that momentum back your way once you've lost it, and the Sabres really face an uphill battle from here on in.
And both teams still with 4 skaters now. It comes over to Mike Ramsey. Up now to... And reject the drive! And Gosselin lost it off the glove, but Marois picks it up. Goulet into the corner now. Watched by Foligno. Back into Marois. Here's Hunter with it for Quebec. Watched by Andrechuk. In behind the net. Up on the left side for Goulet. Tipped it on through the center ice area. Foligno goes back after it. Gives it to Mike Ramsey. It's a 5-5 tie. Foligno back to center with 58 seconds left in the penalty. Foligno gets it off and into the Quebec zone. He's hauled down. Marois lost his helmet on the play. Now Goulet gets it to Marois. The pass over the line. Picked off by Goulet. Here he comes into the Buffalo zone. He's taken into the play by Height. Mike Ramsey has it. Tips it around now for Andrechuk. 37 seconds left in the penalties to Paymon. Sealing Andrechuk to the Quebec line. Gets in over the line, still with it now on the far board. Stopped there by Roseport. It comes over the line. Schoenfeld goes after it. Has it at center. Dropped it back now for Playfair. Playfair backhanding it to center ice. Roseport blocked it. Playfair again. Taken by Scheer. Turns inside the line. Now gives it to Playfair. 6:40 remaining in the third period. Schoenfeld just over the line. Off the boards now to Scheer. Slaps it on into the Quebec zone. Here's McKenna. The backhand shot goes wide. And Schoenfeld takes it at center ice. Works it back now to McKenna. Penalized players come onto the ice action. Drops it back in. He gives it to Mulder. The pass to Peter Stastny. Up on the right wing to Paymon with the long drive. Barrasso makes the save. The rebound to the corner board. Schoenfeld and Paymon bump in there. Here's Sealing coming up with it. Starts it back now for Buffalo over the blue line. Skates to center. Down to the Quebec line trying to get through. He is checked and knocked out of the Nordiques with Peter Stastny. Swings to center. The pass to Place. Left it there at the blue line. Tipped but not out. Kept in. Still sitting there. Knocked over the line. Recovered by Craig Ramsey. Up now to the Quebec line. Tips it through where Maxwell recovers it. He has trouble with it. There goes Perreault chasing Maxwell in behind the net. Now Craig Ramsey moves into the corner. Peter Stastny gets it off a teammate. Price is there. Works it around to the far side. Mike Ramsey gets it back into the corner. Perreault moving in there against Cote. Comes to the other corner. Here's Maxwell. Clearing it up to Kumpel. Kumpel sends it up to Peter Stastny against Fences. But Fences takes him out of the play. And Mike Ramsey works it to Craig Ramsey. And we've got Foligno on top of one of the Nordiques inside the Quebec blue line. No idea how that started, but
I'm still not sure who that is. Have it right down below us. Michel Bergeron's team has battled back twice in this hockey game from 2-goal deficits, trailing 3-1 in the first period, and then 5-3 here in the third.
Maxwell. It was Maxwell underneath as he takes Foligno into the glass. And now let's go back to Buffalo for an NHL playoff update with West Goforth, brought to you by AWOL Chevrolet, the only Chevy dealer on Delaware Avenue.
In the Patrick division, the Islanders lead the Capitals 2-1 at the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland. It was scoreless in the second period when Anders Collar stole the puck, beat Pat Riggin on the breakaway. And then after Brent Sutter gave the Islanders a 2-0 lead, 29 seconds left in the second period, Bobby Carpenter beats Pat Riggin 2-1. Islanders in the third. Montreal and Boston scoreless in the third. Back to Quebec in a minute.
Couple of more penalties. Foligno going for Buffalo. And Maxwell for the Nordiques. And again, they're playing with 4 skaters each, Jim.
That's right, and this is exactly what Quebec wants, and they capitalized on that on the last occasion. Moeller ending up getting credit for that goal, a scramble in front of Barrasso. Puck going in off the skate of Craig Ramsey. And what happens when you have that 4-on-4? Quebec just throws those fine offensive players out there. Goulet, Peter Stastny, along with Marois, and Pat Price is mostly a defensive defenseman. He's out there also.
Now Price has control. Back in behind his own net. 5:14 left in regulation. A 5-5 tie. Marois giving it to Peter Stastny. Lost it now to Andrechuk. He tries to get away. Height coming up on the play. Knocks it into the Quebec zone. Peter Stastny now left it there. It's taken by Marois. Recircled. The Nordiques in possession with the pass. Up for Goulet. Stopped by Height. Knocked in by Andrechuk into the Quebec zone. He goes to the ice. White has it. Now watched by Andrechuk. Gives it to Marois. Head to Stastny. Left it for Marois. The long pass. Broken up. Andrechuk goes after it, but it's sent back to the line. Marois with the pass off the boards into the Buffalo zone. Goulet took a whack at it, and it's called the offside, the Buffalo blue line. 4:32 now remaining here in the third period.
There's Michel Goulet. I'm sure he's logged around 40 minutes of ice time already this evening. You know, the thing that people forget about Goulet, too, Ted, is his size and his strength. He's over 6 feet tall, close to 200 pounds, and he is just an effortless skater out there. And you suddenly realize that when he starts pulling away from other players.
The Nordiques have outshot the Sabres 32-23 overall. Coming back with 2 goals here in the third period, a tie at 5-5. Now Gillis against Sears. Back to the Quebec line. Boulder slides it into Rochefort ahead to Gillis. It slides right into the Buffalo zone. There will be no icing. Barrasso leaving it now for Fences. Around the boards. McKenna has it. Works it ahead to a breaking Paul Sear at center. Winds up with the drive, and he knocked it off Mulder. Here's Rochefort into the corner. He turns with the long pass, deflected by Gillis. And Mike Ramsey will go back after it. 45 seconds left in the penalties to Maxwell and Foligno. And now we have less than 4 minutes remaining in regulation. Tucker at center to the Quebec line. Tried to get through. Following up his Andrechuk. It's broken up. Price comes back. They're trying to get a 3-on-2. Here comes Ashton in over the line with Price. Gets it to Price. The pass to the far side, but Gillis a high pass. Couldn't get it. Now Gillis with it again. It's deflected. Here's Tucker with it. Working it to the line. He dropped it back into Fences. 3:35 left in regulation as Fences shoots it into the Quebec zone. Buffalo makes another quick change. Coming onto the ice, Perreault. Schoenfeld and Sealing. 9 seconds left in the penalties, and both teams will return to full strength. Hunter at center. Shoots it way up into the crowd, into the Buffalo zone with 2 seconds left in the penalty and 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go in regulation time.
And Wilfred Pabon has 2 goals in this series up to this point, no assists. He's a good, tough winger. Very, very strong in the corner. You put him with Hunter out there. Hunter plays at center ice with Pabon. You have 2 players who just love to go in there and bounce people around. There's our friend, the dancer.
Now Perro, Craig Ramsey, Housley, and Height. Perro against Hunter on this draw. And Hunter wins it, gets it back into Mulder. The penalized players step out of the ice. We are back at full strength. They shoot it in wide of the Buffalo net. Housley moves into the corner, and Quebec is called for icing.
And there you see what Hunter does best. Just pursuing instead of letting Housley off the hook. He just runs into him, even though it is an icing call. Most players in the NHL would not take that man out of the play, but not Dale Hunter.
And it's amazing they still have not goals at all in Montreal. Boston and Montreal in the third period. Islanders lead the Capitals by 2-1 in the third at the Capitol Center in Landover.
Perro now between Craig Ramsey and Foligno, Billy Height and Housley. Since Quebec has tied it, they've really settled down themselves. I thought maybe they'd keep coming at Buffalo, but they have not done that.
Now Peter Stastny wins the draw, gives it to Mulder. Working it on the boards now. They try to clear it, but Housley keeping it in. Here's Foligno. He's got Perro in front, and the pass went off Rochefort's leg in front of the Quebec net. Height back at center. Working it to the far side. Perro missed it. Taken by Rochefort. Now gives it to Mulder. Ahead to Pavon at center. Shooting it in. It's gloved by Barrasso. He plays it into the corner, but Cote is there to block it. Loose puck behind the net. Peter Stastny. Stopped by Housley. Here's Perro. Coming up with it and holds on to it at the boards with 2:37 remaining in regulation time.
Now Gilbert Perro not taking any chances in behind the net, particularly when Peter Stastny is in the area. Talked about Goulet playing 35 to 40 minutes for Peter Stastny logs about the same amount of ice time for the Nordiques.
Nordiques have had 13 shots here in this third period. The Sabres have managed just 4 on Mario Gosselin. And the Nordiques with 2 goals to tie it up. Now Tucker trying to get the draw from Hunter. Here's Fenfus. He goes to the ice. Kumpel's there. It pops free, but they had whistled the play down. Now Price and Sealing are having a few words.
John Tucker will do it again against Hunter.
Price with a drive blocked. Taken now by Mike Ramsey. He sends away Andrichuk. The quick pass over to Sealing. Breaking in. Lost control of it in the backhand. And Verwa takes Sealing into the boards. Around to the far side. Goulet, Mike Ramsey in deep to try to keep it in. It's taken now by Price. Gives it to Merwa. He tipped it up on the right side to Kumpel. Over the line. Andrichuk has it. Lost it to Kumpel. Now to the line. Fires it back into the Buffalo zone. Barrasso blocks it behind the net. He plays it around the glass. It comes off the corner glass. Right to a Quebec player. It's just wide of the net. Into the corner. Kumpel and Fenfus. 1:55 left to play in regulation. As Mike Ramsey deflected off an Nordique. Stick and all the way back into the Quebec zone. 1:47 remaining in regulation. Up to the blue line. It's tipped ahead. Taken by Kumpel to the Buffalo line. With Cote trying to work in. Had a knocked off the stick. Recovered by Housley. Off the boards. Gives it to McKenna. There's a pass to Perro to the line. He shoots, but it's blocked. Went off Mulder. Now Perro in after it. Here's McKenna tipping it to the goal. Free stroked by Gosselin. 1:27 remaining.
It looked like Gosselin was really not ready for that little swing around pass by Sean McKenna in front, but he still managed to deflect that puck up in the air and then just hold on for the faceoff.
There's the time remaining in regulation.
coaches the age of about 10 years. That is one tough job.
Alpero again against Peter Stastny with the face-off in the Quebec zone. 5-5 tie on the draw. Price behind the net. Trying to step away from Perro. The pass deflected by Peter Stastny into the Buffalo zone. Housley will go in after it with 1:15 left to play. It's off Sear. It's kept in by the Nordiques. Ashton with the drive. With 1 minute and 9 seconds to go, the Nordiques have taken a 6-5 lead.
Perfect shot by Brent Ashton after that puck was cleared around the board. Sear tried to play it with his skates, and it deflected right out into the middle of the ice, and Ashton just wheels it by Barrasso in off the goalpost, and Quebec takes the lead with 1 minute 9 seconds remaining.
And again, the fans here at the Coliseum litter the ice with debris.
Talk about trades being made in the National Hockey League. What an acquisition Brent Ashton has been for the Quebec Nordiques. Let's not forget about Maxwell either, but Maxwell really was the main man in that deal. They did not expect Ashton to score the number of goals that he did score this year for the Quebec Nordiques.
And with 1 minute, 9 seconds remaining in regulation, the Nordiques have struck for 3 unanswered goals here in the third period to take a 6-5 lead. Tom Barrasso has gone to the Buffalo bench to talk to Scotty Bowman, and deciding on, of course, whether or not when he's going to leave the goal crease. The 15,000 plus fans having a giant party here with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go.
What Buffalo needs to do now, Tucker, to win that faceoff back to one of his defensemen, and the Sabres will try to gain that center line and then fire it in and try to hold it for a faceoff in that Quebec zone.
Here we go with the final 1 minute 9 seconds of regulation time. On the draw, it comes back. Housley, Barrasso out of the net. He goes to the bench in favor of the extra Tucker. And they get a whistle called icing against Buffalo.
You have to gain the red line before you fire it in. That's exactly what Buffalo wanted to do, but Housley simply just make sure that he knew where he was on that ice. And now the Sabres have roughly 200 feet to go.
And 1 minute and 2 seconds away from elimination for the second season in a row against the Nordiques. Here's Price keeping it in. 58 seconds to go. Housley working it off the boards. It's kept in by Ashton. Gloved down by Housley. Gives it to Foligno. He lost it. 49 seconds. Tucker back. Gives it now to Housley. Up on the left side. Missed by Foligno. It'll go wide. And Buffalo could be called for icing with 41 seconds now remaining in the third period.
The Nordiques with an interesting lineup out there. Peter Stastny, Ashton, and Paymon. Peter Stastny because he's very good on faceoffs. Ashton because of his great speed, and Paymon because he's very good along the boards in his own end. Shots for the Nordiques here in the third period. 4 for the Buffalo Sabres.
They have not been able to get a shot on Gosselin in quite a few minutes. On the draw now, taken by Housley, 39 seconds to go. The pass comes over the line, taken by Andrzejczyk. Barrasso goes to the... Here's Foligno, and it's goal! He scores! No!
Now that's being called on the offside.
Called on the offside, no goal.
Oh, boy. That was close. Foligno with a full head of steam breaking through to the middle of that Quebec defense.
Montreal has taken a 1-0 lead over the Boston Bruins in that game of the Forum of Montreal. You'll hear probably the boos from the crowd when it comes up.
You can see this again. Andrzejczyk hitting Foligno. Yeah, you can see just barely offside. Boy, that was close.
Now 31 seconds left on the clock. And a timeout has been called. As I mentioned, Montreal leading Boston 1-0. And that could be late in the third period of that game at the Forum of Montreal. The Islanders continue to hold on to a 2-1 lead over the Washington Capitals. And that's in the third period at the Capitol Center at Landover, Maryland. Michel Bergeron with strict instructions of his team.
Well, that face-off outside. Well, they almost actually at center ice from where Andrzejczyk made that play to Foligno.
There's Tom Barrasso, who's played just an outstanding game here tonight in behind the Buffalo bench. 31 seconds to go. Had a win for the Nordiques, and they'll go into the Adams Division final against either Boston or Montreal. On the draw, taken by Marois, tipping it back into the Buffalo zone. 26 seconds to go. Up it comes to Perro. 6 skaters. A pass to Tucker. He dumps it in with 20 seconds left. There goes Tucker in after it. They try to center it. It's taken by Stastny. He cleared it, but Perro keeps it in. There's a pass in front. Here's Foligno, the try. But Gosselin makes the save with 10 seconds to go. Back into the corner. Here now, behind the net, they dump it out in front. Back into the corner. 4 seconds. That's it. The game's over. The series is over. The long shot and that goal did not count. But the Quebec Nordiques have defeated the Buffalo Sabres 6-5. They have won the best-of-5 series, 3 games to 2, and they will advance to the Adams Division Finals against either Montreal or Boston. A very happy Michel Bergeron.
Now, you could not ask for anything more of a deciding game in the Stanley Cup playoff. What a hockey game.
And now the two teams lining up at center ice. The big hero of this game with the deciding goal. So the Quebec Nordiques defeating the Buffalo Sabres and winning the best-of-5 series 3 games to 2. And the final score, the Quebec Nordiques 6 and the Buffalo Sabres 5.
Now, Carling O'Keefe Sports presents our 3 Game Stars.
Tonight's third Carling O'Keefe Game Star is